I have the pleasure to be introducing Reverend Rowe from Central United Methodist Church.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
You know, somebody just mentioned bridge cards, and before I pray, I want to tell you about those bridge cards. Those are state bridge cards, but every time you use them, Chase Bank gets a slice of the action. Chase Bank made $43 billion last year, throwing people out of their homes. There isn't a neighborhood they haven't foreclosed on. Every time you use a bridge card, the state of Michigan, bridge card, Chase Bank gets a slice of your money. That's not right. That's not right. I want to pray for victory. And I think you represent victory. See, tell me what victory looks like. This is what victory looks like. Tell me what victory looks like. This is what victory looks like. We come to you today, God, believing that every time people gather to refuse to surrender the powers of defeat to the principalities of injustice, we have victory. Not just victory for us, not just for our union, because victory for one is victory for all. Victory for one is victory for all. We declare in front of you and everyone that every time people come together to cut away the chains, never to surrender, not just for our union, not just for our family, not just for our community, but for people everywhere, victory for one is victory for all. We come asking to restore our faith whenever we lose faith, to restore our courage whenever it wavers, to restore our strength, to feel weak. We can never give up. We ask you to give us the courage and the power to continue to speak when the Spirit says, speak, and shout when the Spirit says, shout, and march when the Spirit says, march, and obey the Spirit of our God. We come asking you to use every moment of this march for justice, to every rally and every prayer breakfast, every email and every phone call, to continue the march to justice until you have the world that you created, because victory for one is victory for all. God, we know that every time we gather and rise up to remind our political leaders of their moral responsibility to first do no harm, we have victory for one is victory for all. We declare today that we will continue to sound the trumpets of victory in the face of the voices of defeat. We will continue to march when people tell us we have to sit down. We will continue to shout when people tell us to be silent. We will keep the legacy of all those who fought for the rights of unions and who died for the rights of unions. We will keep it alive. We refuse to surrender to the powers of greed and the principalities of injustice. We believe that every prayer we say, and every song we sing, and every action we take, and every step we take, victory for one is victory for all. So we will speak when the Spirit says, speak, and we will act when the Spirit says, act, and we will march when the Spirit says, march. Tell me what victory looks like. Tell me what victory looks like. This is what victory looks like. Amen.